Do, 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 do. Hmm. Oh, okay, there we go. Based. What up, guys? Hope you're all doing well. I gotta close out all 30 tabs before I forget. Be careful of no copyright music. Don't want to get cooked on that. Don't need that. Don't need that. No, I don't want that. Do, 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 do. I need to find out how to do a loading screen so I can do all this stuff before I go live. I think that there is a way. I just forget how to do it. Welcome abroad, guys. We're here. I like it dark. I hate lights. The dark is chill. That's why I like dimmable lights. Nice chill. Even candlelight. Candlelight is better than real lights. But the fear of burning down my house is a constant battle. I have to agree. I have to come to terms with that. Unbased. Sometimes when I go on Kick and I do wonder why people watch IRL streamers that like kind of like just walk around. I'm not gonna lie. That's the one. I mean, I don't get why people watch me, but really watching people like that walk around like just the city and just that to me that's just maybe a bit much. Maybe it's a me thing. I don't even get the like. There's some live streamers I watch on some stuff, but I couldn't watch them like just walk around the city. I would just go do that. I would just go walk around the city, I guess. Maybe it's a maybe I'm the problem. Cool, but not the point. We're going to go back into balls. A based way of running, a more secure way of running Linux is Alpine. You can see that. Let's see. I think it's type. Init is sbin init. Oh, init version. Sudo init. Oh, is it do as? Nice, it is do as. Do as based. Oh, it's PS. Shows the process with PID 1. BusyBox. Multi-call binary. How can we change the init? Is that possible? I wonder. Oh, it uses OpenRC. Huh. It's going to go to OpenRC. Interesting. For Wayland run levels. The BusyBox init. Oh, maybe OpenRC. Alpine Linux uses OpenRC for its init system. The init system manages included the boot and the shutdown of your system. OpenRC user services can be used to manage services. Okay. The BusyBox init executes OpenRC run level scripts according to the entries. A run level is basically a collection of services that need to be started with certain conditions are met. Instead of using run level numbers, such as used by traditionally sysv init, these are named and users can create their own if needed. The default startup is sysinit boot and default run levels in order. Shutdown uses shutdown run level. The available run levels are default, hot plug manual, sysinit boot, single reboot and shutdown. Interesting. A Wayland enjoyer. So I thought it could use Musil. PAM support, user server Xorg, failed to create display. See also. Writing init scripts, writing multiple instance services, OpenRC user guide, OpenRC server script, Gen2 wiki, Boo, Arch wiki, and post-market wiki. Interesting. Yeah, I should go to. Interesting. Maybe. Could change it. SE Linux library and simple utilities. Build time. Custom SE Linux policies for enhanced security. Won't enable SE Linux for now since we'd need proper profiles to go with that. So this means that I could be wrong in the latest version. Install lib SE Linux, lib SE Linux dev, lib SE utils from the Edge community, the one that needs to recompile the kernel to enable SE Linux. Something like containers, Utica would help for containers for other use cases. Alpine as a server one can use to build a baseline wall in permissive mode. As much of a fan of Alpine, I feel like we should contribute solutions. If one needs, okay, interesting. So I've installed Alpine instead of KDE Desktop. Using Alpine with KDE Desktop based. OpenWRT has transitioned from the traditional Open OPK package to Alpine Package Keeper. Huh. Oh, okay. And only had one reinstall one due to RAM failure and general corruption, and extremely lazy users that only updates a combination of repositories and Flatpak gives you nearly everything. I wonder if Bubble Jail would work. Maybe that would be. Securing Alpine Linux in a high security environment. There we go. Xkernel. However, the minimalism required hands-on approach to hardening without bloat of unnecessary packages. GR security and packs are kernel level patching that provides critical protections for high security environments, offers advanced access control auditing and kernel hardening features while packs SE Linux and AppArmor provide mandatory access control, enforcing strict security policies to prevent unauthorized access. Disable unused services, system update and security patches, container security on Alpine. Alpine Linux is a favorite among developers for its use in Docker containers due to its lightweight footprint, regular scan for vulnerabilities, compliance and security regulation environments. Kernel and system hardening. What we're doing is configuring kernel parameters for maximum security protection. Create a comprehensive sys control security configuration. Advanced access control. Implementing it. Yeah, maybe like AppArmor or something would be like of the nature to hit a high level of secure environment. All right. Let's see. Okay. Cat BTC. The kernel system variable configure files. Those files under the sys directory are end with the config are parsed with syscal boot at the time. If you want to set kernel variables, you can either edit or make a new file. The file name isn't important, but don't make it a package name as it may clash with something. The file name must end with config or it will not be read. The recommended location of the file system is local config, but as long as you follow the rules, the name. Okay. Based. Forward 0 redirect 0 IP for all access redirects. Kernel daemons restriction to 1. Restricting kernel module loading to prevent malicious modules. Configuring kernel parameters for maximum security. this kern .com. Ooh, copy. I'm late again. Well, good thing you're not pregnant. So, let's get on the internet real quick. We're gonna open up Firefox. And then we're gonna go to Alpine Linux Secure Hardening. I personally would prefer hardened encrypted Gen 2 over QubesOS. I mean, you can run Gen 2 in QubesOS. QubesOS isn't like really an operating system. It's a hypervisor. So you can run Gen 2 inside of QubesOS. Food for thought. Install other security packages. Do as shadow batch openness to user and access management. Disable root long over SSH. Ensure a password complexity. Set the appropriate permissions to import directories. Do as chmod 700 root boot grub. Configure mount options. I can't use hardware Excel in Cubes though. Yeah, you can in. What would you need hardware acceleration? You have like a 300-year-old laptop. When's the last time you used hardware acceleration? Right now. Say it right now. I thought you could. I'm pretty sure you can enable it. Apparently it can be enabled, but it does not just work. Disable unnecessary service. Do as RC update Dell service name. Configure IP tables firewall by installing it and enabling it as follows. Create a basic firewall set example rules itables input drop 0 for drop 0. Loading and auditing. Apply kernel service hardening. Install CFRMS bin true. Regular maintenance. Let's look at some AppArmor. Let's look at Bubble. Okay, beautiful. 2019 isn't that old, right? It sounds pretty old, man. It's not old, right, guys? Okay. Bubble gel is designed based on observation of FireGel's faults. One of the biggest issues with FireGel is that you can accidentally run sandboxed applications and not notice. Bubble gel instead of trying. Okay. We're going to close that. We're going to do... how secure is the Secure Mountain OS right now? Relatively more secure because it's on Alpine Linux, which is more secure. We could do this. We could disable okay. Disable boot RC update delete service. Disable space. Bluetooth. Okay. I don't think this has Bluetooth. Alright, hot plug needed, wanted, manual. Started 3 days. Commonly unnecessary services on desktop. Bluetooth cups disabled if you do not use printer. We'll do do as later. RC update. Dell cups D. Good night. Gotta be up in 5 hours. As you should. You should get good sleep. Default. Okay, cool. That's not there. If you do not remote into the machine, I might use SSH NFS client. Steps to disable service. Disable RC run was running. Stop disable. Not system. So system commands do not work. Okay. Harden. The best distribution used for base for your hardening operating system would be Gentoo Linux, as it allows you to configure your system exactly how you want it to be, which will be extremely useful, especially if we can make it more secure. Compliant flags later in this guide. However, Gentoo may not be feasible, or kernels. The kernel core, stable versus LTS, Syscal. Syscal is a tool that allows users to configure certain kernel settings and enable various security features or disable features to reduce attack surface. To change settings temporarily, you can execute. To change Syscal permanently, you can add the one you want to change config for the corresponding files with depending on your Linux distribution. Since Linux 5.1, Syscal can also be set via this is not a parameter. Okay. Kernel self-protection. Oh. The following are recommended Syscal settings you should change. In kernel, okay. Dmessage is the kernel log. It exposes a large amount of useful kernel debugging information, but this can often leak sensitive information such as kernel pointers. Changing the most Syscal restricts, okay. Okay. This protects against time weight assassination attacks. Network. Beware this sys requires a kernel patch that is only available to certain distributions. Okay. Compiling your own programs can offer numerous benefits as it gives you the ability to do that. It shows stack protection. If on Clang, you must also apply XYZ memory safe languages, the root account, the file at security specifies where you are allowed to log in from root from. This file should be kept so that nobody can do from the terminal. Let's go to Gentoo. Gentoo probably is a better option. on the Gen 2 side. Wait, FreeBSD mentioned? You can see a secure FreeBSD, maybe possibly the most secure Linux ISO. Oh yeah, I forgot I had problems with this. Interesting. So what we'll do is we'll look at more, I guess like computer level security hardening techniques that don't really maybe exist in Linux and how we can incorporate them. And then tomorrow, Gen 2 mentioned, Gen 2 based. We'll do like maybe like a hardened Gen 2, which would be very sick. Before I do, Kettle. So, let's see. Hardin Malik. The context was added November 2025. The original originated. Okay. Index discussion. No. Look at this. IOMMUU. IOMMU introduction. MMU is used by CPUs to translate virtual addresses to the physical addresses. The virtual address of MMU is a CPU's view. The IOMMU is contrast used by the device to translate another virtual address called IOVA, IO virtual address, to a physical address. Following showing the basic idea of IOMMU. Device, IOMMU, main memory, MMU, CPU, virtual address. IOMMU is a very useful device assignment in virtual memory platform. Device assignment directly assigns the physical I/O device to virtual machines. In device assignment, the driver from an assigned I/O device runs in the virtual machine to which it is assigned and allowed to interact directly with the device hardware with minimal or no VMM involvement. Device assignment has a very high performance compared with the software-based device emulation and virtual I/O-based device emulation. Device assignment introduces an issue just like how the virtual machine access and the VM's physical memory. In the virtual machine environment, the OS in a VM uses a virtual address to access the data. This guest virtual address is translated to guest physical data. This is done by EPT in the VTX hardware. For device assignment, the driver in guest OS specify the guest physical address for DMA. However, the physical I/O device needs the host physical address to access. The device needs something like EPT to translate the DMA address GPA specified by the device driver in guest OS to host physical address. This is mainly the purpose of IOMMU. IOMMU has the ability to isolate the restricted device access to the resources of physical memory allocated in the virtual machine, for example, owned by the virtual machine. Following a figure depicts how system software interacts with hardware support for both VTX and VTXD. Wow, very based. And then 7 years, we have Anime Girl from 7 years ago. Oh, nice. based. Well, thank you guys for joining me for the live stream. I appreciate everyone stopping by, and most importantly, I appreciate all the comments. So YouTube knows I'm a real person. I will find and discover some cool things to look at tomorrow, where I will be more collectively focused. I will see you guys all in the next video. Don't forget to comment below what your favorite type of sea creature is. We all have a favorite sea creature. They're super cool and based. The ocean is a scary place to be. I will see you guys.